Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello there.
Happy Friday. A new
I-
new time we got today.
We're gonna try this time out. See how many we get.
I say
We
from
got
here on
one.
out, if you're following along, always check either the website or the email that goes out as to what time will be, because sometimes we have to make adjustments. And today we got an early start, and then it was just kind of I wouldn't say dragged out morning, but it was taking a lot longer than we anticipated.
Well,
So.
like we always say, it's just the two of us, and then some technical things arise and things we don't plan on happening, and then I can get stuck on one thing, like I don't know, for like a half hour. And oh my gosh, it's getting late. We gotta get this out. People
Yeah.
are waiting for this meal plan.
Bated breath.
So we get it. We try. We do our best, but it's out, and it's a good
Yeah.
one.
I mean, in the end, it gets released in the morning at some point. I don't think we've
Yeah.
ever had like a late afternoon release or anything. I mean, it's typically, I mean, I was up at 4. I mean, you get up like 5. I was surprised. I'm thinking, oh, Jude won't be up till about 6. So I had some time. And you're like, is everything ready? Like, got it in. Just like, I
Bright and
literally
early.
well, I got most of it in yesterday. It was just one straggler I was working on. So
I've
yeah.
been going to bed so early. I love going to bed early and getting up early. And I just feel so fresh when I wake. I woke up naturally, like you, at like 5. And I'm thinking, what? I had my alarm set for 6, but I was already up. Maybe it's Puerto Rico time because that's an hour later there. I've been going to bed so early and getting up really early, and it's been good.
Because in case nobody knows, she was in Puerto Rico last week.
Oh.
You didn't know that.
Doesn't everybody follow my entire life? Well, I did announce it 2 weeks ago. I was just going to say that's why we didn't go on live last week, because I was in Puerto Rico. Phil had all those terrible computer problems. So we planned on it. I thought that would have been fun, broadcasting from my deck outside our Airbnb. But yeah, we couldn't get it to happen. Oh, well. It would have been
So
fun.
we missed last week.
Yeah,
We're
we missed it.
back on track.
Yeah, so I'm back from Puerto Rico. It was really fun. It was really tiring. It was not a restful vacation. Did I even talk to you about it yet? Maybe a
A
little
little
bit.
bit, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it was really fun, but I'm with two 21-year-olds who want to go, go, go. And my friend Beth, who's my age, who is like more active than they are, she's like, let's get up. Let's hike the mountains before coffee. Just like, I'm more of a read my book in the shade kind of person. It was a lot, and it was so much fun, and I kept up with them, but I was just like, this is not relaxing. We saw a lot, we did a lot, we jumped the waves, we climbed castles and mountains and swam in waterfalls.
Yeah.
And we stayed in an Airbnb, which is really nice, so we felt pretty safe, just got our rental car, drove there, stayed there, and just walked everywhere, the restaurants we ate outside. So I still felt pretty safe, even though COVID is still among us, they say. About half the people were masked, even on the plane, which I was surprised. Not a lot were.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, now that they take the regulations off, I mean,
Yeah.
and I kind of see that everywhere. Even in the
Yeah,
grocery store, there's a handful of people that are still wearing masks on the
that's it.
plane.
It's more
Train,
aren't. Yeah,
yeah,
more aren't.
sure. But
But yeah, it was good. Yeah, what were you gonna say?
well, I was gonna say, how did like eating there go? Like, was there a lot of options? Did you not have? I know you had the Airbnb, so you probably cooked a good portion, or maybe half. I don't even
Yeah.
know. I guess we didn't
So
even.
I'm working on a travel log. So if anybody's interested, I'm going to post it in the group. We're going to post it on the site, but I'll make a post in the group to let you know when. I want to make it really good. So I thought I might be able to get it out today, but it's not quite ready yet. But yeah, I took pictures of as much as that I could. And I took notes on everything, and I remember it all. So overall, it was really good. I made a few mishaps, and I don't want to give them away. We had a few things go wrong. But I would say I'll tell you this, give away a little bit. So we landed in San Juan, which is the major city. I didn't know Puerto Rico at all, but Beth had been there multiple times, so she knew where to go and everything. So we actually had to stay there for 2 nights when we landed in the major city. Then we rented a car, drove to Rincon, which is like way on the west side of the island. That's where we stayed in the Airbnb. So anyway, San Juan, when we went out that first night after we got to the hotel, changed, showered, whatever, and then walked to a big outside market. I can't think of the name of it, but it will be in my travel log. Placido does something. It was so much fun. It was like a giant salsa party in the streets. It was packed, but we were outside. And then all these open air restaurants. So we found this barbecue place. right on the menu. Vegan seitan tacos,
Oh,
vegan
nice.
beans and rice. I mean, I have it. I'll have it in there. I took snapshots of most of the menus when I remember to. Right there, first thing. Beth didn't even know that. I was like, that was the best welcome I could have gotten. I was so excited. Not to mention some of the best food I've ever had, like tacos. So delicious. I mean, I really should have eaten there every night. I was just thinking, this is going to be amazing. I love Puerto Rico. I can eat my way through this territory. So it wasn't quite like that the entire time, but you'll have to read my book, travel
I
log.
will.
No, it was overall good. Overall good. Just a few hairy moments and a few not so great moments, but yeah, it was good.
Awesome.
It was, some of them were my fault for not planning for it. I should have, again, now in hindsight, you can't plan too much. Like, I feel like I'm such a pro at this that I can just wing it. No, I can't. Yeah, you don't know where you are. You don't know what they have. You can't wing it. So I'll talk all about it in the travel log. But yeah, it was super fun. Awesome. I'm glad to be home. I'm planning on resting. I saw your post this morning about your weekend.
About my
I am going to
weekend.
I am going to be resting this weekend. I've been home a week and I still need to rest.
I've been resting all week and I'm raring to go.
I haven't traveled like, a lot of us for a couple years, and it took a lot out of me.
Yeah. Well, when it was COVID, we took that. We rented a place in Florida and we drove down. But again, we didn't leave. Like, we stayed there. It was just to kind of, everyone was going stir crazy. It was like whatever, August
yeah, I remember
2020. That. Yeah. So we went down. It was nice. So it was like that little community, whatever it was. It was like a subdivision, I guess. I don't know, but it was all rental homes. So it was like an Airbnb. But they had their own little beach. So it came with kind of a private beach. So the beach itself was not packed or anything. So it was not, it was like a perfect combination. Nice. It wasn't expensive because people weren't vacationing, it was like private beach. So it was nice to get away. But yeah, we really didn't do anything. We like walked down a pier one day, like that was it.
Avoiding people.
It was just doing stuff we did here. It was games and, just having fun. But there wasn't, we weren't sightseeing and doing all that stuff. I did see the pier was cool because it kind of it went out into the water, but it was it seemed like it was on an angle up. So it was like pretty far down. I mean, you're like maybe 5 stories up, it seemed like. We saw hammerhead sharks swimming, and I was like, holy God, there's people surfing. And I was like, oh my God, like someone's like, look, a shark. And I was just like, oh my God, like you could see that hammerhead,
That is not something you want to hear when you're swimming in the ocean.
Yeah, look, right. Well, and there's people surfing, and we're like, shark. We're screaming shark. 20 people screaming shark. Yeah. Anyway, we haven't, I guess we went to Florida. I guess that wasn't really a vacation, but at least
I literally haven't been anywhere except Florida this year. But yeah, that's like mom's house. So that's not like really a vacation, but yeah.
Yeah, so we got vacation. Yeah, right.
So, okay, so what are we doing this weekend? You're going to the Dead and Company show tonight.
Yeah, Wrigley Field. Exciting. I haven't been to a concert in like 5 years, I think, or 6 years, and I haven't seen the Dead since I was 25. Since Jerry Garcia died. I've never seen the Dead and Company play. I don't think I've even seen any iterations of the band, Rat Dog, or any of that stuff. So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see it. Actually, the last show I saw was at Wrigley. I saw Fish, which I'm not a huge Fish fan. Someone said, "Hey, we have an extra ticket if you want to go. It's free." So I went, and it was with a bunch of high school friends I hadn't seen in years. So I was like, "Yeah, of course, it'll be great." We had a great time. But
so the Dead and Company was playing at Soldier Field. Remember a few years ago, and that's when we went. Oh, and there's a giant party in the parking lot, so we didn't have tickets.
Well, sure.
But Frank's friends were like, just come down and we can hang out before the show. It's a beautiful summer night. Right. So this was before COVID, whenever that was. And so we went, and it was so much fun just to be in that big open air, party. It was so fun. They had a camper, and people were cooking and drinking, and it was really, really. It was like, I forgot there was going to be a show afterwards. Right. This was like the event.
Well, back in the day, I mean, that's what it was. I mean, it was half of it was the party in the parking lot. I mean, we went to a ton like Alpine Valley, Soldiers Field, way back then. You go early. even before I met
I
my
was not a
wife.
deadhead. You were.
Well, I wasn't a deadhead, but I enjoyed, I enjoyed the music. And when you get into that, it's like a circus. I mean, there's just so many people. People are selling. You're eating grilled cheese sandwiches off of some random stranger's grill, and you're walking around buying jewelry.
You are.
Right before I got married, well, I was. Right before I got married, my girlfriend was like into it. She was a deadhead and everything, and like that was the first time I experienced it. I went with her, and she would hand make jewelry, and we'd like hang them on like a tree, we'd find like a tree branch just with you could hang all the jewelry, and we'd walk around. She'd sell jewelry. Then the next time I went, I loaded up the car we went to like, it wasn't Costco. I think it was either Sam's or BJ's Wholesale Club. I bought cases of water and soda and all that. We sold we made hundreds and hundreds of bucks just selling water and Coke out of the back. Soda out of the back.
Wow.
So it was just like an all-day event. And then like at Alpine, we'd go and we'd stay for 3 days. It was like a 3-day show. So we'd sleep in her car, or we went to her friend's house one time. Like I don't get up and get the parking lot early and walk around and hang out. It was fun. It was very crazy.
So you're going early tonight to hang out in the parking lot?
Well, there is no parking lot. It's Wrigley. There is no lot. Yeah, so that's the difference. Here. Okay. So the bars are packed. Well, at least during like the fish show, like everything around there was packed. Like all the bars were packed and everything. But I don't think we're going to do that. We're getting picked up at 3. By the time we get down there, it'll be 4 something. I think the doors open at, I think he said 5. Yeah, something like that. So he said they start pretty much right on time. So it's like whatever time the show starts, 6:30, like they'll be on, like playing. So it sounds like it's pretty cut and dry, when they play there. But we have good seats.
You taking the train down?
No, my buddy who's an Uber driver is going to, Dennis is going to drive us. He's picking us up at Nico's dad's house. Yeah. So there's 6 in our group, and then there's various people going, and we're just hooking up with a bunch of people when we're down there. Be fun. Yeah.
Have a good time. That sounds fun.
Yeah. And tomorrow we got a little housewarming party, a friend of my wife's, and then we're going to Maria and Gunther's house for dinner last night. I saw Maria posted in my thing. I didn't mention it was them in the post, but now that she said it, it doesn't matter. So she's having a couple of couples over, and it'll be fun. See everyone. I haven't seen them for a few months. And Sunday relax. Hopefully I'm not because Mark Banos called me and he's like, "Hey, you want to go to the Sox game? I'll be in town. I have a ticket for Saturday morning. It's right now. It's an 11 o'clock game." I'm like, "Dude, I'm going to the Dead. I'm sorry, it's tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow
at 11. I'm like, "Dude, I'm going to the Dead, and then I have a housewarming, and then we have I'll be sleeping at my friend's house." I'm like, "There's no way I can handle like a trifecta of events like that." I said, and I'll be at Wrigley the night before, the Cell the next day. Party.
Oh my gosh.
Too much. But I was hoping I'd be able to see him. He's only in town till tomorrow, so that's stinks.
I'd like to see him.
Yeah, it's been a few years. He moved away a couple of years ago, our cousin.
That'd be nice.
Anywho, then Sunday we'll relax.
Anywho, I'm relaxing all weekend. We got our garden, our backyard is planted. They just did it the last few days. Yeah. I'll send you a shot. I'll post some pictures. I want to take a little video because I took one earlier that I still haven't posted, but I want to kind of document the progress. But we love it. It's so pretty. They dug out like 2 sides of the lawn and they planted all the native flowers, and then all that flagstone that Frank found around the neighborhood. They placed kind of like in the middle, a few stepping stones here, a few stepping stones to all the bird feeders, and then towards the back gate. It's nice. It's so nice. So we've been, So we're going to just sit out there and enjoy it. I mean, they're baby plants, it's going to look different. He said next year they probably will bloom, but you should have seen him figuring out where to put all the plants, take one and put it here, like the same plants, and staggering them and for different heights and stuff.
Sure.
So. It looks all like little green plants to me, but I was taking notes and looking things up, trying to picture it. So that's exciting. Right. Got some new bird feeders. Our little nature world out there. That's where I'm going to spend my weekend with my book.
Well, I'll do an update on my garden. I was just looking at the garden yesterday. Holy cow, it is hammer. I mean, it's like full now. There's tomatoes on all the plants. There's peppers. There's the cucumbers are, they're tiny, but the vines are growing. All those pumpkins are now, I probably have to pull a couple of those out. They just get way too big, way too quick. But it's just man, the whole garden, and I got to say, there's almost not no weeds, but I've weeded it a few times now. So there's very few weeds. So it's like it's all vegetables, but it's like to the top of the fence already. I'm just like, oh my God, it's like rocking. So yeah, I'm super excited. I'll do that on Monday, I think.
Yeah, I want to see that.
But man, yeah, it looks great. I can't wait till those tomatoes come in.
Oh, I know. When's that gonna be? Oh.
Yep, soon, because I got tomatoes are like this big now, and like the little super sweets are coming in too. I got those little racks of like 6 or 8 tomatoes starting with their green.
Whoa. So, I can't wait.
Yeah. It's fun. It's fun seeing it. Just, it's so quick. I mean, it happens, especially with like cucumbers, almost overnight. You can see it's like here, and then it's here, and then it's here. You know,
oh my
just
gosh.
like, man, in one day, it like climbed the fence, and it's like halfway out the garden already.
Oh, and our service berries that I thought we lost because of the bunnies when over winter, remember I told you they chewed on all those trees around the bark. They don't have anything to eat. Well, they came back. They're fine. And now they're back and they're booming and they have all these little berries. They were red like 3 days ago. And Frank texted me this morning. He's like, try the service berry before the birds eat them all today. I was like, I'm in competition with the birds. So I ran out there and I saw a robin. It was the cutest thing. He's sitting right there, grabs it in his beak and boop, it was gone.
Thought you were going to stay and you're like, not today, buddy.
Not today, Robin. Not today.
Frank comes home. You're out there wrestling with the robin. You're out there rocking with the robin.
My service berry. My service berry.
The last you like walk out and it's like cut to you, cut to the robin, cut to the berry. I don't even know what a service berry is. What's a service berry? I was working
out there all morning and watching this happen. And I can't believe I didn't go down and pick a purple one. I have to do that right when we're done. I've never tried them. Oh, they're just a berry and I didn't even know you can eat them. I mean, that's the name of the tree. I don't know. Obviously I don't know anything about them. I just know that birds love them and you'll see them all over the place. They're native to Illinois anyway. And we can eat them. Yeah, they taste like blueberries when they're really ripe. Yeah, they're little. They're tiny little. I don't really know much about them, but
yeah, the only wild berries. The only berries I eat are like mulberries because I'm familiar with those when we see them. And I don't really. I guess I don't really see any other berries. Like those are the only ones that will be like. I'm pretty confident that this is a mulberry.
Remember, I used to feed you the batches of berries.
No, I never ate those
neighborhood. I was evil,
obviously
little child. We used to make concoctions and feed it to our little brothers. Try this. Berries from the neighborhood. Do I have to? Yes, you do.
Now dance. Peanut butter and jelly dance.
Da, 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 da. I can't believe it. Those could have been poisonous. That's dangerous. Yeah, right. Where was Mom? I blame her.
Proof that I ate none of your berries.
Just kidding. She did tell us those berries were poisonous, those little red ones. She's like, oh, don't eat those. And I was like, Phil's been eating them all summer.
I have red lips. What?
Don't eat those. Where did Judi go?
Don't listen to them, little brother. You trust big sis. Now let's go make some dessert. Out of that red bubble.
Where are the red hots? Okay, don't tell that story. They'll really think I'm evil. Oh, it's just big sister stuff.
Holy smokes. You were a rapscallion.
Right. Okay, let's get to the meal plan.
All righty here. Let's see. Here we go.
So, find yourself some big, beautiful, juicy, ripe strawberries. Not for this dish.
Except for this dish. And wash them while you eat this.
Enjoy them, and then it's dinner time. Wow.
So this is the only one that didn't have the strawberries.
Oh, this doesn't have strawberries, but it does have bourbon, which Phil's a bourbon drinker. I'm not a bourbon drinker. I'm not a hard liquor drinker at all, but sometimes it flavors food kind of nicely. And I had to go out and buy bourbon to test this because we just don't have it here. And actually, my first round, I bought the wrong stuff because I asked the guy at the liquor store, Jack Daniels. I said, first of all, do you have bourbon? I just need a little bit. I need like a cup of bourbon. And I
He's
just
like,
want
yeah,
it to
here's a
be a
fifth
good
of
bourbon.
Jack Daniels.
So he gave me the Jack Daniels and I looked at it. I said, well, that says whiskey. He goes, no, it's bourbon. It's the best. Everyone who comes in here who wants bourbon gets this. And I said, okay, what do I know? So I bought it, came home. And then I was asking you another question. I can't remember. I was asking Phil a question about it because he originally made this. And so I took a picture of the bottle. I don't know why, but it wasn't that. And he goes, well, first of all, that's not bourbon. That's whiskey.
I
I
mean,
was
it's all whiskey. Bourbon,
like, oh,
whiskey, and Scotch are technically all whiskey. It's the process and how it's made from the beginning to to the end. So ultimately, bourbon is made from whiskey, but in the end, without the process of making it bourbon, it's whiskey. It's that Jack Daniels is Tennessee whiskey, and that's
so
what it
all
is.
bourbons start out as whiskeys?
Yeah, and Scotch.
Oh, okay.
Those three are all whiskey. But
Well, I have some Jack Daniels sitting around here and some bourbon, so I don't know who's going to be drinking it because we
I
don't
didn't
drink
say I
that.
wouldn't drink it. I'm just saying it's not bourbon.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll be giving it to you when you come.
And I'm surprised you don't have, because usually if I come over and I bring a bottle, like unless somebody drinks it, sometimes I'll leave it there and then have it when I come. I've been there before.
Really?
You're like, oh, do you want some bourbon? Yeah, I've been there before where you're like, well, bourbon. I'm like, did I bring that? And you're like, I don't know how it got here. It's like, just happens to be what I drink. I must have.
Yeah, no, that's been long gone. But yeah, I do remember that happening. I'm not sure why we haven't had any. Well, we have that scotch that Frank's brother bought. It's supposed to be really good. It's in that like cardboard circular container. Anyway, it's been here for like 3 years since he was here last.
Cardboard sounds fancy.
It's very fancy. I know. Karen bought it. It was expensive.
Yeah.
There's like one glass gone.
I'm not a big fan of Scotch. I don't care for Scotch myself, but I'm sure it's delicious if you're a Scotch drinker.
So I looked it up, and Phil actually said it too, that the alcohol burns off. So you don't have to worry about getting drunk off of these soy curls. But there is a little bit that remains. So if you're like, can't have alcohol at all for different reasons, I wouldn't make it. But it does, for the most part, it's burned off. I mean, there might be trace amounts, like there's trace amounts in a kombucha or cough syrup, like that kind of stuff. So you're not going to get drunk eating the bourbon chicken style soy curls, but it adds really great flavor. So if you've had our orange chicken soy curls, they're sort of similar in the consistency where they get really nice and sticky, but they're still crispy because we make the chicken style soy curls first. So like we crisp them up, they're crispy, they're chewy, then make this delicious bourbon. It's like sweet and kind of tangy sauce, mix it all together. And it just like clings right to the chicken, the soy curls. Chicken soy curls,
and it's really a little different with the orange chicken. Is more of like a reduction, like almost like a glaze, where you're kind of getting not actual glaze, but you're kind of getting it to like a really thick consistency. Where this is a little bit more saucy. Yeah. I know we were talking about that on the phone as well, but
the other one's stickier, right? I remember now.
But yeah, super tasty, man. This came out great. Bourbon chicken. Soy curl, bourbon chicken style soy curl.
It is so good. It is so good. Everyone loved it. I mean, they were like fighting for it and licking the bowl. I was like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, my kids loved them. I mean, and when I gauge like the meal, and again, my son won't eat most of the stuff. Sometimes he'll try a lot of stuff now that he never used to, but things like that. So that, when he says things like, "Oh yeah, no, I can eat this. Like if you make this again, like I'll have dinner." Yeah, because we'll be eating. I'm like, just try it. Just see if you like it.
He's the fussy one in the family.
Yes. Well, he just doesn't eat. I mean, he has a pretty narrow span of things that he eats.
Yeah.
But he is expanding. He's gotten way better than he used to be. I gotta say, that's for sure. But when he says things like that. Because sometimes he'll be like, yeah, it's good. I'm like, would you eat it again? Not this, but he'll be like, nah, so I know it's
probably not.
He likes it, but like this, he's like, oh yeah, if you make that again, let me know. I'll eat dinner for sure. Because usually he doesn't eat with us. He makes his own stuff. But my daughter liked it, my son liked it, my wife liked it. Like it was a hit, man.
Everyone here loved it. And I made it a couple of times and I made double because everyone loved it so much that I doubled it up.
Yeah, usually when I start, there's never enough sauce. I know we have to kind of, increase the sauce because then, like, I don't know, I like sauce on my rice. Like I like it like kind of
Me too.
soaked in the rice, so it flavors the rice a little bit. But yeah, usually the first couple, it's like, all right, I'll make a little bit more sauce, and then it's like, man, that's not enough either. Everyone's like fighting over the last couple of spoonfuls of sauce.
I don't know. For me though, it's not really saucy. You can see there, but for me, the soy curls are super saucy. So with a bite of rice, to me, it's like perfect. And I know I never really liked doing just like dry rice. I always liked like a saucy rice or something in the rice. But more and more now, with when I feel like I just really enjoy it plain. It doesn't really need anything when you have a sauce. For me, a sauce that good and that tasty, it's just like a nice combo.
Yeah.
I don't need extra. For me, I don't need it to be saucy, but
I like
you do
sauce
you, Phil.
rice.
You do you.
I like a saucier rice.
You're saucier than I am.
Everyone does, but you.
They were licking the bowl clean.
Yeah, the kids like a lot more sauce. Right. I mean, I don't want it swimming. I don't want to have like a rice and sauce soup. But yeah, I don't like a big mouthful because then inevitably I have more rice than like soy curls. So inevitably there's leftover rice. And then if it's just dry rice, then I'm eating dry rice. I'd rather have a little bit of saucy rice and put some hot
okay, well, that's it then. I put a little bit of rice and a lot of soy curls and then a lot of green onions because I like all that. So I have like just a little bit of rice. I'd say more soy curls than rice. This looks like lots of rice. That was actually my photo. Okay.
Was this Frank's dish?
Then I take my little bowl and he takes the rest of it.
And he takes the pot and dumps the rice in.
Between him and Hattie, they're fighting over it. And we have a new recipe. It's just a method, really, for Instant Pot brown rice because I cannot get rice to cook on the stovetop, and I just hate messing with it. I don't know. I'm just not good at it. It's either stuck to the bottom, floating in water. I do the same thing every time. So I gave up making stovetop because I do have an Instant Pot. So if you have an Instant Pot, and follow our brand new recipe / method, it will be perfect every single time. It's perfect. 50 minutes later. Cook it for, let's see, I don't have the recipe. Is it 30 minutes? No. Wait, 20. I think it's 20 minutes. Well, it doesn't matter. You're just going to have to look at the recipe. But you cook it for like 20 minutes or whatever it is. Then you let it release naturally, which means just don't touch it. And then the little thing will like drop down, the pressure gauge drops. And then like 30 minutes later, around there, you'll hear it. And then just open it and fluff it with the fork. It's perfect. 20. So I suggest that because you could get that going while you're making everything else. And then just leave it in there, turn it off, and it'll stay warm. It's just so nice. Do you make your rice in the Instant Pot?
Yeah, I won't make it on the stove anymore.
No, I can't struggle with that anymore.
It's so easy. I mean, it's just so nice with that Instant Pot just to put it in. And you're right. Every time, usually I have the problem where it's just like, is it done or is it not done? Let me check. And then you let the steam out and then it's still hard. And then it's like, man, do I need to stir it? And then it's sticking.
On the stovetop, you mean?
It's always a mess. Right. Rice is one of those things that just never good at doing. And now, no matter what kind of rice you're cooking, there's a setting. And then once you get that, it's like I do it the same time every time. You just press done. Just leave it alone.
Done. You leave it in there. I know. Yeah. I know. And there's things like this that I just feel are really handy to have on the site because, you could just Google it and get like, how do I cook rice, but now it's in your recipe box. Just type in Instant Pot. They'll all come up. Quinoa might be a little different. Brown rice is different, but now it's there. You can follow it. It'll work out every time. That's what I love about the recipe box too. It's just like, we can't memorize all this stuff, but it's right there. You don't have to like hope that this internet recipe is good. We've tried it. We know it's good.
And just like we promote, I would suggest, making more than you need and then freezing, individual portions. You could freeze a bag of rice, just to always have it on hand. And then the next time it's just a matter of thawing it, letting it thaw or heating it up in the microwave. Rice is one of those things. There's usually always a bag. My son likes white rice. So I make like, a pot of white rice and then I freeze it in Ziploc bags and just put it flat in the freezer. And then he just like breaks off a piece of rice and heats it up. But I do the same with brown rice. It's like, all right, 3 cups, I'll make 5 and I'll freeze, however many portions that I'm not going to eat. So
That's so smart because you can buy, and I do sometimes buy the frozen rice,
right.
but frozen
Why
brown rice.
spend the
But it's
money?
so much more expensive.
Right,
I should
right.
just make a few batches in my Instant Pot just to have it, even if I'm not making a recipe. I mean, we eat it all the time. So
Well,
that's
even
smart.
those, my son always eats those bags of rice, minute rice or whatever. You throw it in 90 seconds. You have a small bag of rice. But
Hmm.
even those, so they're like $2.50 or $3 a bag. It's like for $3,
Yeah.
I could buy a huge bag of rice, and you could have 50 cups of
Dry
rice.
rice
Not
and
just
make it
one.
yourself.
Yeah. So now anytime he has rice, he'll ask me first. He's like, "Do we have any rice in the freezer?" So I'm just like, "Yeah."
Um,
'Cause now I just make it so it's here because I know he's going to have it.
Yeah, that Instant Pot. I mean, for rice, quinoa, and dried beans. I mean, this stuff is so inexpensive just to have, and you could have it in your cupboard for a year, and then just to have it on hand. I mean, it saved me so many times when you don't have canned beans, just to make black beans or pinto beans in like 30 minutes from dried. It's amazing. And I
Right.
think we should do a giveaway. I wonder how many people have an Instant Pot. We've been so hesitant to do Instant Pot recipes. That's why we're doing like these side dish recipes just to add them to our site and to give them to our meal planners. But I wonder how many people have them. We should do a poll maybe because we're planning another giveaway and maybe it should be an Instant Pot. I
Well,
don't
it's
know.
funny because someone just what did I post? They posted something. Oh, it was the crispy tofu. So I go to Facebook groups and I post recipes and things to get people involved in our brand and all that. So inevitably I get comments like that, and it's like, you should really be making these with the air fryer. You should really making
Oh,
this
yeah,
with
the
the
air fryer.
instant pot or the this or the that. So the idea behind it is we're trying to do it for everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone has an oven, everyone has a pot. Not everyone has an air fryer or an instant pot or even a high speed blenders, whatever it is. We're trying to make it accessible for everybody to do.
Well,
So
yeah, because imagine if you're one of our meal planners and every week it's like air fryer, Instant Pot, rice
right,
cooker. You don't have these things. So we're
right.
trying not to use them. That's why these are like, I always say, if you have an Instant Pot, use it. But if not, you could easily make it however you make rice. So let's just maybe
Uh-oh.
do a poll and see for people to get them. It really is. It's not one of those
Right,
appliances
right.
that you buy and you don't use. I mean, when you eat this way to make these batches of, rice and beans and whatever else, I probably don't even utilize it as much as I should. I'm going to start thinking of some more
Well, and
things.
again, it depends on what you do. I mean, I think for me, that thing's paid for itself over and over already. Just
Oh,
because
for sure.
anytime I
Yeah.
cook rice,
Yeah.
anytime, like that. I mean, just so quick. And my daughter's cooked other things in it. I've cooked other things in it too. Same with the air fryer. Comparing to what we were air frying and what we air fry now, we air fry a ton of stuff now. Because we
Oh,
have it. It's
good.
quicker and it's
Yeah.
crispier and all that.
Ooh, you just gave
So
me a taste for that savory tofu. That's so
I
good
just
in the
made
air.
some the other night,
Oh, I
man,
haven't
because
had
someone
that.
posted it on the site, and I'm like, oh, let's have that for dinner. Because someone posted a salad, and I was just like, oh, let's have that salad for dinner.
I'm
Or
going
we
to
didn't have
make
that salad, we had another salad.
not the crispy tofu, the savory tofu. Remember the one I made for you? It was like an appetizer. It comes out real saucy out of the air fryer.
Comes out what, salty?
Oh, you forgot about it. Real
Yeah,
like saucy. It's so good. I don't even think we have it on the site.
I was gonna say I don't
You
remember
don't
that.
remember that? Oh my
You
God,
made
you
that
loved
super
it.
crisp, I remember, because when you make
No,
it,
no,
they're like shiny, they're like shiny
no,
crisp. They
no.
look
I'm
like
making
golden.
no.
They
I
look
gotta
like
make it
honeycomb.
savory, savory. Oh, it's so good. Okay, it's a certain spice blend. It's really good.
Yeah, I don't remember. Why isn't
Okay.
it on the? Why don't we have it on the site?
Don't
What are we doing
know. I
here?
don't know. It
The
just occurred to
secret,
me.
the secret recipes.
It's up here. It just occurred to me. I just made a note. It's coming soon.
Yeah.
All right. Next we'll get to our strawberries now. Okay, so we have 3 recipes with strawberries. So you really, 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 really need to get ripe, plump, juicy, sweet strawberries. This won't work with those ones that are kind of white, kind of pale. They just won't work. So I'm not sure if strawberries are in season. I don't think so. They're not at the farmer's market, probably later on in the summer. But this will give you a jump on that. So you'll be prepared for when they do come in. That's kind of why we're doing this as well. But I did find really ripe, at the store.
So did I. I thought, in fact,
Really
they were
ripe
on sale.
strawberry that
Yeah,
are really, really good.
yeah, there was a ton of them like that. I mean, they had a pint for like a buck something, and I was like, holy cow! So I bought 3 pints or whatever because yeah, I mean sometimes
Wow.
they're $6 a pint or five something a pint. It's like I'm not knowing. That's when they're
Yeah.
scarce. So I don't know. They got a shipment or they started to come in season. I'm not sure, but and they were good too because sometimes you buy them and then they're like, yeah, they are kind of half white or they're picked too early. But yeah, these
Right.
were all great, like plump and juicy and really strawberry tasty.
Yep. So if you like strawberries, all three of these recipes are really, really good. Now, we're not getting to the strawberry shortcake yet because I know that's a highlight for a lot of people. We got a lot of requests for that. But the other two are so good too. So it's what you're seeing here. It's the strawberry salad, which has the sliced strawberries in it. But what really makes the salad is the dressing, which is a strawberry vinaigrette. And honestly, I'm not one for fruit in my salad. I'm just not. I never have been. I never thought I liked it. See, here I go again with that, like telling myself I don't like fruit in salads. Well, it's just one of those things I've told myself because I'm not a big sweet eater. I like everything salty and tangy. And, I didn't like French toast growing up. I didn't like pancakes. I went for all the other stuff, all the savory breakfast foods. And I still do. But then I get on an overnight oats kick and I want to have something sweet and creamy. So with the salad, I never think to have raspberries in my salad or mandarin oranges in my salad or strawberries in my salad. But when you open your mind to it, if you look at that, there's like savory elements to it. So we put our almond feta, which is tangy and savory and kind of salty, and then the candied pecans, which are crunchy and a little bit salty but sweet. So it's a lot of flavors going on. And then with the arugula, that's peppery. So and the onions give it another dimension. But then the here I go, I can't stop. The dressing is tangy and sweet. So
There's a lot going on in this salad.
together.
Jeez, you said a mouthful.
Whew,
Mouthful of salad.
I need a drink of it.
Wipe your
It's
brow.
exhausting.
Yeah,
No,
I,
there's a
and
lot going on.
I wasn't a big fan of fruit in salads either. Just a real quick story. So we were on vacation one time and we were like hungry. The kids were small and we stopped at like some random little restaurant or whatever. And my wife ordered a strawberry salad. It's like, oh, they have a strawberry salad. And I'm like, I never even heard of that. This is years ago. Not that I hear about it all the time, but I was just like, I never even heard. I'm like, I don't know, that doesn't sound good. And she got like, it was like iceberg lettuce, but it was just like the yellow and white part of the iceberg lettuce. And there was like two slices of strawberry. And then they're like, what kind of dressing? Ranch or it was just so disappointing. And then like me and the kids got like the buffet, which was horror. It was horrendous. And then it was just like a nightmare place you stop on vacation in the middle of nowhere. It's like, oh, they got a buffet for the kids, and but yeah, ever since then I'm like, that's we always bring up. And then when I made it, I didn't even tell my wife I was making it. She was coming in from out of town. I'm like, oh, we have a surprise dinner for you. Like strawberry salad. There's always like the long running joke about the strawberry salad that she ate at that restaurant.
Oh my God.
But yeah, this is, and I got to say, this is like my kind of salad. Having all those elements, I love that. I like mixing and blending all those things. Like, again, all those different elements here, especially when you add like the crunchy stuff too. Like I like croutons. I like nuts. I like, having tortilla strips or something to add a crunchy element to.
Well, it's all the textures involved. It's like, yeah. I'm pulling a Frank Caruso on everyone. You gotta get a little of this, you gotta get a little of that. Our dad was famous for that. You couldn't take a bite without him coming over with the salt shaker. But that's how I am. It's like, oh, did you get a piece of onion? You need a little onion, you need a little bite of the almond. Frank's like, I got it.
Just put it in.
I think you had a piece with nothing on it. Come on, eat this the right way.
Then you got our kids and they're dissecting it and eating all the strawberries first.
Drives me nuts. Oh my gosh, my friend Kimberly is here. She said fresh, haha. I think I overuse that word a lot.
Okay.
It's so fresh.
It is fresh.
She calls me out on that. It is fresh. Lots of things are fresh. Oh
So
my
yeah,
gosh. But
that's
anyways,
got all the different elements. I mean, as far as the flavor and just the consistency elements as well, which is nice. Because again, like even the onions, they have a little bit of a bite. The strawberries are a little soft. The lettuce is crisp. The nuts are, thing. The cheese have a little give. Like all that stuff. I love it.
and that dressing. So if you've had our 3-2-1 dressing, it's kind of like that. It's that punch, it's like, wow, it like wakes you up. And then add the strawberries and a couple other things. We changed it up a bit, but that's the idea. I mean, that's just, and the tahini gives it a little bit of creaminess, but it has that punch of that 3-2-1 dressing. It's just sweet and tangy, and it's a nice strawberry flavor with it. It all works really well. So I can't wait to hear what everybody thinks about that one.
Yeah, it's delish.
And it's pretty. Look at that for a summer platter, with the pizza or whatever on the side. It's really pretty. It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous. That's one salad that knows how to take care of itself.
Gorgeous.
It's gorgeous.
Their hobby was meta.
No, when they met, it was Moira.
Oh, when they met, it was meta. Okay. Anything else about this? Oh, candied pecans. I don't know. Do you say pecans or pecans?
I say pecan.
I say pecan, but I try to say pecan. Stefan.
Pecan.
Satan.
Pecan.
No surprise you say pecan with your satan. I say pecan.
You're
Satan, pecan. Okay, we got some candied pecans here, which are sweet and crunchy, and they're so easy, but just keep your eye on them. And, again, we're just giving them a little bit more depth of flavor. You can toss on raw pecans, but
yeah, or roasted. We did have like a candied nut, and I think there was some didn't we have like some spices in there? It was like rosemary or
it was the holiday nuts. Yeah,
Yeah,
candied
yeah,
holiday
like,
with rosemary.
even
Yeah,
like
those are good.
even like those kind of stuff. Like I'll throw those into a salad too, like that kind of stuff. And actually, what started that all, like with the candied pecans, was my old work. When my boss, and I may have even told this, when we used to go out, that's what we used to order, like at that grill, like that was the salad. It was like some sort of salad, and they had those candied nuts, but they were sweet hot. So like when I make these, a lot of times I make just those hot ones too, which I like that element. Even in the salad, I would enjoy that. We just had the big hot. I just made that post about if you eat spicy or not. It's just interesting to see how many, how people like,
Yeah.
I
love those
spicy on
nuts.
almost everything.
I had those nuts at your house a few times. Those are good.
Yeah, they're good.
Really good.
Speaking of that, I just made another batch of pickles. I can't stop making these damn pickles. But I made okra, so because I wanted to make that last time, and we didn't have any. So the store didn't have any. So I went back and got them. And then when I was there, they had those red habaneros, and I was like, I wonder if I threw a red habanero in with one of that batches. So I made like a maple syrup habanero okra mix too. See how that turns out. So now I'm going to try and start messing with like some of the flavors and the pickles. I have like 20 jars of pickles going right now.
Oh my! I was going to ask you, when are they ready to pop?
Yeah, I mean, it takes about a month. I mean, mid-July, I have two batches coming due. Right now, I still have like four or five jars, including the big jar that I just opened. So we got time. So in the next 3 weeks, we'll finish those, and the next batch will be done. So
McCartney loved them. McCartney polished off the last of the jar you gave us.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I was like, what do you think? Phill made them, and he said they're really good. And he was like, yeah, I like them when they're a little bit more cucumbery and not so pickly, because they're not like, super pungent. You could taste the cucumber a little bit in our batch anyway. He's like, this is exactly how I like them. I was like, oh yay.
Me too.
So we're due for another batch.
And those are kind of right at the beginning of the cycle, so it's like 4 weeks. You could do them I think it's 4 to 6 or 4 to 8 weeks, when that's kind of the ready time. But yeah, I think if you get them right at the front end of that, it's like, you get a little bit more cucumbery taste as opposed to them keep kind of soaking. But yeah, anyway, I can't, I've pickled everything now, like everything that I can think of to pickle, we got pickling. Those jalapenos are awesome.
I got to see that recipe, the pickling recipe, so I can try it.
just all this stuff, man, just coming right out of that jar. I mean, everything is good. I mean, everything tastes good. I just opened up the cauliflower jar, which was really good too.
Mm.
Hmm. So anyway,
Yum. Okay. Anything else we need to say about this?
no, here's
Oh,
just the
well, the
dressing.
almond feta is a breeze to make. I don't know if anybody's made it. I don't think I've ever seen anyone post about it. It is so easy. And we all have almond flour because we're always making the almond parm, right? So you've got it. It's just a few ingredients. You make a little patty and you pop it in the oven. It's so, so easy. And then it comes out and it's cheesy and it's salty and it's crumbly. Let it cool first, then crumble it up. It's so good. I put it in like Greek salads and stuff it into like Greek type wraps. I mean, everything's mix and match. Put it in anything. It's good. But try it. And it's really good on this salad. Okay,
All
that's
right,
it.
and there's the
Oh, that's so
dressing.
pretty. Look at that.
Should have turned that. It would have been like a little heart.
Aw, what was I thinking? And it's also,
Oh, sorry.
what was I just about to say? Oh yeah, it comes out pink, which is kind of pretty, drizzled on the salad. I didn't
Yeah.
want to drizzle it over the salad for the photo because it looks a little strange, but it looks good. Oh yeah, wait, Mary said, is that Mary? Les, the almond feta is good. Had it on the Greek fries. Oh my gosh, yum! She made it. Yay. I get so excited. I know. She's the first person that ever mentioned it, so it is good.
Yeah, there's we always talk about if you're a meal planner and you're watching and you're making stuff, post photos. Like let's hear what you're making. I mean, there's so
Well,
many.
Mary does. Mary
And then,
does.
no, I know Mary does, and Kim, and I mean, there's a handful of people that do somewhat regularly post, but I mean, there's hundreds in there making.
There's hundreds of you.
Like,
Mary and Kim are holding down the fort here.
So
No,
yeah,
there's others who post too, but there's a lot of you there that don't.
Even if you don't think it looks good, like everyone, we want to hear it. We like to get the feedback. And again, if someone, not everything's for everyone. I know we get some feedback, some critical feedback here and there. It just depends on what it is. But all that's good. I mean, we want to see what people are making. We want to hear, feedback on the food. I mean, that's what this is all about. Even this release, it's like, hey, what are people looking for? Like what, and even like when I ask people, hey, what are you looking to make? That's what we're trying to do is we're trying to make food we want to hear. It's like, even when we talked after I posted, I'm like, oh, that sounds good. I'm jotting notes down. I'm creating a list. I'm starting to kind of preliminarily put a recipe together, build it, put it on the side. So
yeah, and
give us your feedback.
Right. And it's just like we are all inspiring each other. And if you'll notice in the group, somebody just posted, we just made the beans. Well, we released the beans last week, the creamy black beans. And then somebody originally made them. And I could see the chain like, oh, I have to make those. Oh, these look good. They were good. They were good. I'm going to make them. I'm going to make them. And that's what we mean. Like, listen to other meal planners in the group. They'll inspire you because now you know. I mean, Phil and I could talk to a blue in the face. I think you trust us now to know that we're really trying here to make things really, really good. But when you hear other people back that up, it's like, I made the beans. They're good. That inspires everybody else to at least try them where they might have avoided them. And that's why for me and for Phil, like, we're like, we know there's so many good ones back there that nobody, as far as we know, is making because nobody comments. It's like, I want to revive that old cream of mushroom soup. It's delicious or whatever it is, So it really, really helps everybody start to cook new, different things. It's really fun.
And on this side of the coin, it's always kind of bittersweet just because anytime I go back and I remake a meal, I feel guilty. It's like I should be working on something new. It's like, but just last night we made the ginger miso dressing. Like I'm like, I had some tofu left over. I had, it's just like, I had a taste. I got I think someone
just gave me a taste for it.
Yeah. I'm like, man, we haven't had it now. So I made it. And then it's like, no. I should be working on another meal right now. But
anyway. I know that's what happens. And Frank will just sit there saying like, oh wait, whatever happened to that? Whatever it is. I'm like,
we love that.
Sorry, you're trying this tonight.
One and done.
It's time for this one.
But that does happen. And then like when I have guests over, that's usually when I crack out more the old reliables that, hey, let's have this again. Like let's have the orange chicken. Let's have, whatever it is. The ginger beef.
That's perfect. That's what you need to do. Right. Because whenever mom comes in town or Uncle Bill or anybody staying with us, I'm making the smoked Gouda pasta. I'm making the orange chicken. I'm making, the farm stand cornbread, which was one of my favorites. I know somebody's tried it, but not many. So good. That's a
I
reliable one.
posted about it anyway.
Oh
I
yeah,
said,
posted
just
about it.
posted about it. Yeah, I
There's
just
so many good ones, but it's like, yeah, I have my standards that I know that because I know how they eat. I know what they're gonna like.
right. I
Those
just
carnivores.
had that leftover ricotta, and I made our brother. I made Steve just shells. I went to the store. I know he likes white pasta, so I just bought manicotti shells, and I just stuffed them. I made a quick gravy. I
Did you
had like
just
a
say
to go. I
manicotti?
had like a to go container, and I put it all in. I froze it. He was supposed to come by, and then he couldn't because his car broke down. But
You're
I'm
such
like,
a nice brother.
it's sitting in the
Oh,
freezer. I even wrote manicotti for Steve. Don't eat.
what is with the manicotti?
Well, I, I say stuff no one don't know what the heck I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Wow.
Mamagote.
Manicotti.
All right, let's get to the pièce de
Okay.
résistance.
Pièce de résistance.
So this is another one that someone had come in and posted saying, "Hey, how about a strawberry shortcake?" And it was kind of already in the works, like
It's
or
been in the
already had
works
a
for a
trial.
while.
Yeah, had a trials going.
A long time. Mary said Kim Kinney Keenan is a rock star. I
Yes,
agree.
she is.
She is a rock star, and she's such a good cook. She's like everything we want in a meal planner, mixing and matching and trying new things and making it her own. And Mary, you're right there up there with her.
Of
So
course.
you're a rock star too. You're a rock
We need
star.
more rock stars
Where
like Mary.
are the rest of you?
You're out there.
I
Find
know
your
we need more
voices.
Marys and Kims. You guys are awesome.
But
You're
more
really
people have been
keeping us
posting. That's
going
great.
here.
I mean,
What?
the idea, I said more people have been posting, and that's
They
great.
are. They're inspiring people. I know.
Whether you're a Kickstarter posting your recipes or a meal planner posting and kind of weighing in, I do see like I'll see meal planners because like someone will post something about one of the meal plan recipes, and then a few other people like, oh, I'm going to make that. It's like, oh, they're a meal planner, but they haven't posted anything. It's like aha.
Hi, you rose from the dead.
Let's see those photos. But that's the idea here is that, like we're trying to just promote inspiring others, letting people know what you're making, let us know what you like about it. That's all part of the whole thing, man.
And
Builds a
it's
better community.
fun. I mean, it's really fun. It's fun for me to inspire people. Like, it's really fun to put out strawberry shortcake because I haven't had this in a long time. Well, now I've had my fill. And eating
Now
it
I ain't
for
having it for a year.
I don't know if I'll ever eat this again. I have up to here with strawberry shortcake. Well, just like anything, if you eat it for months on end, you don't want it for a while. But for the rest of you, you're gonna love it. No, you know how it is. I mean, maybe you don't, but we made this over and over and over and over, mainly the shortcake. And that whipped cream was a thorn in my side for a while too.
Yeah, so we've learned something. So with the cream, so in the end, I've made this a bunch of times. I've never had any issues. And then Jude, when she was making it, she called. She said, "Hey, this isn't working. Something's wrong." So I looked at the recipe, and it's like, "No, everything looks fine." And she's like, "When did you make it?" I'm like, "I made it 2 weeks ago. Like I just made it." So I knew it was fine. And then she's like, "Well, make it and see what you think." And then mine did the same thing hers did. And it was like, "What happened?
What is going on with this?
Me?"
But
So
we've
yeah,
made
we
it
finally got it to
before.
work.
We had
But
it.
we did a little research,
Yeah.
and it says online that just different brands are going to be different. So like when you do try to whip it, it may take 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and it may take up to 25 minutes depending on the brand of coconut milk that you use. Yeah, which is strange. I mean, you think, oh, it's all the same. What could possibly be the difference? There's also coconut cream, which has a higher concentrated coconut and less water. It's higher fat and all that too.
Okay, so basically it's like a science project. It's not hard. It's super easy, but you have to follow the steps. Just like baking, you know how you have to be precise with certain things. That's kind of how this is. So you must put the can in the fridge overnight. Don't skip that. Don't do like 3 hours. Put it in, just take the can of coconut milk, full fat, put it right in the fridge overnight. Make it tomorrow, anytime the next day. So then when you take the can, when you're ready to make it, first, before that even happens, you have to put the bowl with the beaters. You're going to beat it with your electric mixer. Put those in the freezer just to get them really chilled and cold. The 2 beaters in a bowl in the freezer. So now you're ready to make it. You have all your shortcake stuff ready to go. Pull it out, open the can, and then scoop out the coconut, the firm coconut
Cream.
that firmed up. You know what it is. There's like
Coconut
liquid in
cream.
there, and the firm stuff. The firm gets really firm, but don't just dump it. Just scoop it all out and leave all that milk, watery liquid in the can for now. All you want is the hard stuff in the chilled bowl. Then get your beaters and start whipping. And I like to have one spatula in one hand. Trust me, I've done this plenty of times. The beater in one hand, the spatula in the other, and just keep scraping the sides, pushing it into the beaters. And after a couple minutes, like 2 minutes, have your maple syrup and vanilla ready to go, because that changes the consistency. First, you want to whip it up, then pour it in slowly. Keep whipping. And if it's done, then it's done. You'll see. It'll be like fluffy whipped cream. If not, keep on whipping. Just keep going. It might start to break apart. On countless times, mine did. I tested a bunch of different brands. It starts to maybe separate a little bit, and then you think you're going off course. We'll just stop, get a wooden spoon, and stir it up, and it turns into fluffy whipped cream. It's going to taste delicious no matter what, but we want it to look like fluffy whipped cream, and you can get it there. But you might, who knows what brand you're going to use, and it might take a little finagling. But as soon as after you add that liquid and beat it for a little bit longer, it should be ready. And if it never turns into like the peaks, that's okay. Just stir it up and it'll smooth out and be like perfect and be delicious. So I'm really interested to hear, one, if anybody's made this, because it's been on the site for a while, and two, what they think of that, that process. No matter what, it's going to be delicious. This whole dessert is so, so good. But moving on from the whipped cream that we've had on the site for a while now is the shortcake, which also, this is what took so long to pull this one together, because Phil and I grew up with strawberry shortcake. I mean, our mom wasn't like a huge baker, so she wasn't making biscuits. I mean, yeah, Dad made Bisquick biscuits out of the box. Those were delicious on Sunday mornings. But we didn't really make, I don't know, she didn't bake a lot from scratch. So she wasn't going to be making strawberry shortcake from scratch. She bought, I think they were from Jewel, those little, they were like little yellow
sponge cake cups.
Like sponge cake. Yeah. So whenever, and we didn't even have this a lot. So she'd buy this little 6-pack sponge cakes. They had a little cup in them. And then I guess it was whipped cream in the can. Do you think?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
And strawberries.
Yeah. I guess it could have been Cool Whip. I don't know. I don't remember.
So that was our idea of strawberry shortcake. So then in our research, we learned that, they're like biscuits. And if you're like, I don't know, if you grew up eating like true strawberry shortcake, you probably want biscuits. And then I did some more research, and it was like somewhere between a biscuit and a scone. So it's kind of crumbly. But we wanted to come up with something that was in between. We didn't want it, like he made it a bunch of times. It was like dense and crumbly. I made a bunch of different cakes, and I was like, well, I have a delicious lemon cake now, and we do, which we're going to do something with. It's in our back pocket, but it wasn't quite right. I wanted it more biscuit-like. Finally, we did it. Finally, we came up with one that is not quite a biscuit, not quite a cake, just perfect for me anyway. Now, I want to hear other comments. I want to hear if it's like, well, this isn't like how my mom used to make them more like scones. That's just interesting, because this isn't our thing, but it sure is delicious.
And I do remember, and I know we were played around with the idea. I remember like at some point Dad would buy like a pound cake, and then he'd slice pound cake, and same thing. He'd put whipped cream and strawberries on a pound cake. And I know we were trying, man, could we just do like a cake slice? And then it's like, let's, we wanted to kind of stick with the short cake, kind of biscuit theme here. But yeah, I know that was kind of a possibility at one point as well.
So, wait, I was just reading what Mary wrote. So she wrote, I made it for the parfaits. The first time I made it, I didn't watch it and over-mixed using a KitchenAid mixer, and it separated, like you said. I just had to watch because it didn't take long. And the second time was perfect. Exactly. That's what happens. If it's too long, then it just all starts to separate. And you can stir it back together, but it's like when you've got it, you got it. Stop. Because then you can overdo it. That's interesting, the KitchenAid mixer. I thought about that too, because I was like, should I put this in the Vitamix? But the KitchenAid mixer, that would be good. So you don't have to stand there and hold it, but you do have to watch it. Thanks, Mary. I'm going to try that next time. Yeah, the parfaits. That was when you made it last, right? It's for that. It's for that too with the mousse.
Right. Well, we had it for the pumpkin pie as well. I think that was
And the
the first.
I made it for the pumpkin pie
Yeah,
too.
right. So yeah, we've had it a handful of times. Like I said, I've never had the problem until, of course, until you jinxed me.
Why did I?
Yeah.
I don't know why. That was odd
Yeah,
because I've made
yeah.
it a bunch of times too. Well, now we perfected it. Now at least we have those things to watch out for. Because I really don't want people struggling with it, you know?
Yeah, I hear you. So with this one too, so on the bottom in the notes at the bottom, if you do like more juice, like Jude likes just the berries a little saucy and then put them right on top. I like putting a little scoop of the juice on the actual biscuit and let it soak in a little bit. I know like my kids don't like that. My wife really doesn't like that either, but I like it like that where
Like
it's
a soaked biscuit.
juice, like gooey, like not gooey, but like mushy, strawberry cake. So you can't make it with more juice. You just have to kind of, adjust the recipe. You can double the recipe just for the water and sugar with the strawberries and just mix it and have some extra juice on there. That's how.
And then, yeah, you can double the juice. They get kind of juicy anyway. And then we're using this trifecta combination of white whole wheat flour, potato starch, and almond flour. That was the winning combination for me. So the white whole wheat, we use that for the pumpkin bread and other things. You should know by now that that is a whole grain. It's just white and not brown. So that's white whole wheat flour. You could find that anywhere. Potato starch is what you want, not potato flour. So, I should have done some research on this. I know that there's a difference though, because I will be posting about it. I don't know. Now that I don't know what the difference is.
Now that I've backed myself into the corner.
Yeah, just Red Mill, which is like the brand I like for a lot of these flours. So it's just look for starch, and I'll let everyone know about the differences there once I research it. I'll add it to the recipe. And then almond flour, coconut sugar, nothing new. It's just like baking is. It's just the combination. Once you get it right, don't mess with it. That's it. They're really delicious biscuits.
Yum.
Perfect consistency, a little crumbly, a little cakey, not too dense, not too light and airy. Perfect.
Yum.
I know. I'm getting a taste for it. It's staring me right in the face here. I can't believe it. All right. Well, that about does it.
All righty.
A dead show.
Get ready to hit the road, the trail. Going down the road, feeling fine.
Have fun. Be safe.
Yeah.
Don't get too close to anybody. No.
Yeah, to 35,000 people. Hey, that's my concern.
No, you're outside. You're outside.
Yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Meal planners, excited to hear what you guys are making. Make sure you post. Don't forget about our podcast, drops on Tuesdays, so make sure you tune into that, and hope everyone has a great weekend. Talk to you guys later. Everybody.